Hi.
Good. Happy Saturday.
Yeah.
Right. It was supposed to be live tomorrow. Yesterday, but due to technical errors, we do it today. Okay. So on my left is actually an NLP trainer.
Yeah.
Mr. Ting, you want to introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Ting. Actually, I am the NLP and Hypnosis trainer from American Board of NLP and American Board of Hypnosis. So I have been in this training for quite a while, a few years, and learning about NLP for the past 20 years.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to access instant access the human mind, right?
Yeah.
So let's start off with how we build rapport in a person, right? Mr. Ting, based on your experience, do you have anything to share with us?
Yep, definitely. The rapport building is actually very, very important because for a person like us, when we are in the line of sales, or even when we do anything, right, we want to communicate well with the persons. The very first thing actually we need to do is actually building the rapport.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, because I'm in a financing line, right?
Yep.
So for my case, actually 90 seconds is actually very important to build a rapport.
Definitely.
All right. So from the type of body language to the way we speak and to the intonation. But I do not know your definition of NLP is like how.
Okay. Basically, building rapport in NLP, actually we divide it into three categories. The very first one is the most important, which is we call it the physiology. The physiology is actually we call the body movement, body gesture, how the person sit. Like for example, if I want to build a rapport with you, you sit like this, I actually incline on the chair, so I need to change my positions. So I need to be like this and also a little bit away from the chair. Then actually we match on the physiology. So this is the very first thing. And then the second thing is actually the tonality, the speed of the language that you talk. So if you talk very slow, then I need to respond in a very slow way.
Okay.
And then the third is actually the word that you use. So basically we have three.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say that to create a first impression, we need to have common experience.
Common experience is very true.
Okay.
You are right. You are right. Yeah.
General information.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Common interest.
Common interest. Yes, they are all lumped into together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say for example, if you are looking at a person, because you are experienced. So NLP is actually, in a simple term, is called neuro linguistic program.
That's right.
It is how we read through a human's mind, right?
That's right.
Because I'm normal language and he is the neural language, so people can understand better.
Yeah.
So this point from the walk of a person, say for example, we use me, right? How do you derive me if let's say today you first time see me? First impression.
The first impression.
Yeah.
Of course, definitely we will judge a person by the appearance, first. Therefore, in terms of doing sales or we are doing marketing, the way we dress, the way we put our makeup, then the way we go out to talk to people, these are the very, very important when we enter the 90 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. So the basic grooming, everything is very important.
Okay.
So let's say about you, right? Then I will say that you are actually a kind of person that giving the very joyful, joyous, and then very bright info to me. That when I first look at you, you are actually makeup, and then you are doing it very nice, and then not overly done on your makeup. And then if people will look at you, then they will feel more comfortable.
I see. Okay. So actually, first impression applies in relationships, in sales.
That's right.
And also when we are doing recruitment, right?
That's true.
So today we are only in general we lump sum on how to actually look at a person, right?
Yeah.
So let's say based on your experience, right? How would you change a person? Can one person be changed from one form to another?
Definitely we can be changed, and then it can be very fast also. In terms of NLP, we have the techniques and then the skill. We can actually change a person's like to dislike, and then even though we can change the person's belief system and then the value system, which is a little bit deeper in our unconscious level.
So when you are talking about belief system
Mm-hmm.
in unconscious level
Yeah.
and also conscious level,
Yeah.
so I understand that a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
actually unconsciously distributing their limiting belief to the people, right?
That's true.
So when I say limiting belief, it means that what
Mhm.
I assume it is. Say for example,
That's right.
today I'm feng shui master,
Uh-huh.
right? I say today cannot wear it.
Then I wear it today actually.
Yeah. So
And luckily there's a
Mm.
little bit black here.
So if let's say you are my candidate for relationship or for my client, you know,
Yeah.
if I strongly believe in this so-called taboo, then I will block my belief,
That's true.
right?
Then this is actually kind of the belief system a person passed to another one. So we actually divided this belief system into two. So we actually say one is, we call it the empowering belief, empowering belief system, and then the other one we call it is the limiting belief systems. Like just now what you have said, let's say according to feng shui today cannot wear red, and then I wear red, and then you say today actually not good is to wear red, and if I accept this, and it become a limiting belief to me. Therefore when I go out and then there's something not good happen to me, very simple, maybe I just step on the dump of the dog, then my shoe very smelly, very dirty, then I will say, yeah, it's true, because someone say that today cannot wear red, therefore I have some, we call it calamity happens. It can be very big or can be very small. This one we call it the limiting belief. And then the empowering belief is actually, we will say, that enable us to do a lot of things in our life, whether in the career, and then in your management, in your recruitment, in everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here I will assume that there are two types of people. One is actually give people the belief system. All right. It doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. It's just that when I think it is right, you should understand and believe that it is right.
Yeah.
All right. Another part is the universal belief where even though many people say it's wrong, but if you think it's right, then it's right. Okay. So that is here. We would say that we will jump into the modern and also conventional thinking, right? So when modern and conventional thinking in any household or any relationship, right, or any businesses model, we tend to have a clash of conflict.
Yep.
Right, a clash of conflict where there are there are two different patterns altogether to actually form one team, right? So from this, on your opinion, that how do you see this view?
Okay, this one is actually, we are zooming into the, what we say is the value systems of the persons. Yeah, so some people holding the very rigid and traditional, and then they hold on to the value system, which they will say they don't want to change. And then the other one is actually hold on to the value system, which is very simple, yeah, and then very flexible. And then these people is actually very, very flexible. So it's all depend on how the person actually like to adopt the type of the value system in them. And then this is actually very important when we come to do the management of the agency or the business.
Okay. Okay.
So what do you think about your system? Do you prefer the conventional, or do you prefer the Western, more liberal?
So basically, because I am a Malaysian, so people call me OCBC, Orang Cina Mendaki.
OCBC.
Yeah. Okay. So I speak very fluent PM Malay. And let's say for recruitment or in my agency force, I have multiple ethnics. All right. But of course, as a leader, some of my team players, they might think that there's a different type of culture culture you
Yep,
cannot
yep,
merge it.
yep.
But I believe one thing that no matter how,
Mm-hmm.
the religion is still love religion.
Yep, that's true.
All right, and I apply one thing on the whole thing which is called which is universal law.
That's true.
Which comes to integrity.
Integrity.
Yes,
Yep.
integrity. So let's say if you're Malay or you're Indian, I'm Chinese,
Uh-huh.
right? And then you have different culture and I have different culture.
That's right.
Right or not? But because you believe that makan lembu adalah haram, for
Oh,
example,
okay. Yeah.
and I like to makan lembu,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So this one cause a conflict of interest.
Definitely.
Right.
Yes, because it's a value system.
Correct. So, but if I apply the universal law, which is integrity,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, do you think that makan lembu adalah haram or tak makan lembu adalah haram adalah satu masalah?
Tak ada masalah.
Masalah.
Because we are in this situation,
Yes.
when we focus something is actually higher, then of course integrity, I will say my culture we don't eat beef, but then in your culture eating beef is not a problem. But then when of course we don't sit down at the same table and then we eat the food which is a little bit of controversy to another party. But then in terms of word, right, we all holding the higher value, which you say in your agency system is the integrity. And integrity by itself is actually we call the universal value system, which across the board, no matter what background and then from what culture they are coming from and from what of the religion they are coming from, they all believe, they all accept that integrity is the utmost important in whatever background.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let's say, sorry, I would say that, let's say for example, how would you define information that is profit sharing? Okay, information that is profit sharing, it means that, let's say, the leader has vast cultures, right?
Yeah.
And applying universal law.
Yeah.
So when applying universal law, information tends to happen. All right. So there are two ways of information, right?
Information
tends to happen because they are a different way of thinking, how they interpret the whole thing. But through integrity, we can actually bring the whole team together, right?
That's right.
But there are also certain leaders, let's say ketua keluarga or business owners or relationship or partners, right? So they tend to have one thing we call influence or manipulate.
Oh yeah, influencing
Right?
and
Influencing
manipulating.
manipulation.
That's right.
So one information, say for example, today you are wearing red, you're supposed to wear it.
Yeah.
Is this manipulation or influencing?
If in that case, it's all depend on how the person coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, like let's say now I take this topic about influencing and then the manipulations. Now actually, if I see you or if I see your agents, right, I can do influencing work. Then how does the influencing work actually produce?
Okay.
It actually helping you and your agency force to bring more business coming in. This is we call influencing. Influencing is very easy to identify. Influencing is actually we going into a win-win situations.
Okay, you're wearing red.
Yes.
Let's talk it simple.
Yeah.
Right? You're wearing red. Okay, just now my question like this, you cannot differentiate between whether it's manipulation or influence, correct or not?
That's true.
Okay. So for example, there's a Red Bull behind me.
Red Bull.
Red Bull behind me and you're wearing red. Okay, pantang one, the Red Bull wearing red. I said, you should wear red today.
Okay.
And walk
Okay.
out. Because the Red Bull is behind me, you cannot see one. I
I
said, you should walk out and you will survive.
Mm-hmm.
If you survive, then you come back, you will thank me.
Okay.
This one is influence or manipulation.
Then normally in terms of NLP, influencing and manipulations, right? We look at the angle of whether that particular situations can bring a win-win situation to both party, or is only one person winning. If only one person winning, then that is a manipulations. So if I follow your instructions and then I benefited and then you also benefited, you just tell me to walk whatever I follow and then I survive, then that is influencing.
Okay.
That is influencing. So that's a principle is very important.
But it's also a very fine line because I asked you to go mati, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you survive. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So that's also the law of survival, right? So I believe that in any organization or in any household, manipulation or influencing is actually a very fine line to define, right?
That's true.
So as you say that manipulation is actually one profit winning and the other
That's
profit
right.
is only
Losing,
right?
losing.
So on influencing side is both win-win situation.
That's right.
All right. Okay. So in any organization, if in manipulation happens, it means there's this
Dictatorships.
Yes,
Yes.
dictatorship.
Manipulation is more on the dictatorships. But then if influencing, I will call that situation called leaderships.
Okay.
The leaderships is the leader who stand in front and then fight the battle, fight the war by themselves. They're going out and then they're going to do something and then lead a team. The team is actually those soldiers. So it's not dictatorship. Dictatorship, on the other hand, is the leader standing behind, let the soldier go in front, and then the soldier will die in front, and then the leader actually say, yeah, whatever we call it, but that is actually manipulations.
I see. So can we call this person mismatcher?
Okay, mismatcher is a situation whereby in a team, right, there are a lot of people in the team that purposely mismatch our instructions. For example, we say, now we are in a war, we want to fight the army. Then somebody in the team, right, they do not want to follow the instructions, and then they're going to do some other thing. Then purposely they're going to do that. This type of person is, we call it the mismatcher. So do you have these people in your life? You have been encountered the person?
Well, if let's say, as the saying always goes, when your responsibility goes higher or when your dreams are bigger, you tend to have a lot of people around you that one, waiting to bring you down, two, fight with you.
That's true.
Okay. So even in organization, right? So actually, why we make this video is actually to analyze on how we can create instant access to a person's mind. Okay, how we can identify what type of people is actually good for you and what type of people is actually bad for you. All right, and we cannot deny these two existence. All right, everything comes in two pairs, in one pair, right? Manipulation and influencing, killing you or to be killed by you, right? Okay, so under this situation, let's say if a company has two employees, right? One employee is the productive ones, right? But he or she is the poison of the company.
Right.
He can produce a lot of sales. Okay, 90% of the sales is produced by this guy, right? So the second one didn't do anything.
Okay.
Right? He only works from 9 to 5 and then send emails and then go home. Not productive, okay, and not effective, but cause no harm to the society, to the company. These two person, if you were the boss, who would you fire?
Now, talking about this is actually I would like to coming from the point, the angle of what is my company value systems. So all the company, the organization, they will have their own value system. So when they have their own value system, it all depends on the company from where they want to manage the business. So if let's say, for example, my value system is actually looking at the profit, then the first one which can produce a lot of the business to me, but then have the behavioral problems, then I will adopt this. I will still keep this one. And then because my intention is to produce maximum profit, and the second employee which is not producing, is only doing the 9 to 5 jobs but not causing any problem to me, without production, I will fire this off. Therefore, for us to choose in between employee, right, we still have to think back, what is your agency value system or what is your corporate value systems. So from there, actually, we manage our team and select the people who can actually come in and then work together, so that they can achieve whatever they want, then we can achieve whatever we want. So I do not know whether which one you want to fire.
because I'm also a leader myself.
Yeah.
So these two situations, one is a producer, but it's also very toxic to the company.
Yeah.
So the second one is non-productive but
Yeah.
non-toxic to the company.
Uh-huh.
If I were given a choice between these two,
Yeah.
I will fire the producer.
All right.
Yeah, I will fire the producer. The reason is foundation needs to be strong.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
If I were to fly up high, my
Mhm.
foundation is not strong, it's gonna collapse anytime.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't matter how slow we are going, so long we are moving forward towards the direction of the universal law, which is integrity on my side. Definitely we can start our fly off anytime. Okay,
Mhm.
but I do believe that some organizations, right, they like to keep. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I just say as a whole, like
That's true.
they like to keep the producers.
Yeah.
Okay, even though it's very toxic. So let's say if they go higher, the whole thing will collapse.
Yeah.
In no time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Then is for these people, right? What I would like to say is they become toxic, right? Normally it's because they do not understand or they may not agree to the value system in the agency. Therefore, whatever behavior that they can produce, right, it can be very harmful to our agency or the
Yes.
corporate.
Yes.
Or maybe they are the personal in the nature, they are the mismatched.
I see.
By nature they are the mismatched. So then as a leader like you say we do this, and then they purposely words they say I don't want to follow you, but they know they are in the industry, right? They can make money, therefore they become toxic. At the same time they can produce
Okay.
because the production actually bring them income, but then their words come out from the mouth is actually very toxic because they are the nature mismatched. By nature they are the mismatched, so they will mismatch your the leader. So let's say we found out that the person is this type of category, then what you do as a leader, right, it's actually very simple. You just ask them not to do what you want, then not to do what you want, opposite they will do, then they will do what you want. Not to do what you want, then they will do the opposite, then they will do what you want. So if you want them to say positive, right, then you will say don't say positive, then they will say positive, then this is what you want already, then you actually counter the natural mismatch. Then can the other way is actually can tune their value systems, to change their value systems. So in terms of NLP and hypnosis, actually we have the skill to make the person's value system align with your corporate or with your agency.
So here also we can summarize that as I mentioned, there are two types of people, right? Either black or white. Right? There's no gray in between. So if there's any gray area, means you do not know whether you want to be successful or you want to feel very charmed. Right? So this part where just now we gave example on will you fire the producer or will you keep the non-producers? Okay, it's also happen in any relationships or in any family households or any business societies where they actually it's not that they are afraid to fail. You know, the feeling of failure to them is very big. That's why they will feel enormously. Okay, say for example my case, as I say that foundation needs to be very strong, right? Any person, let's say behavioral part, so if we climb up the leadership positioning, the higher the status, only behavioral attitude is same, right? The only thing that differentiates us is the soft skills, right? Say for example you're the leader, I'm the leader, we are all very technical. Okay, this is technical behavioral skills, right? Not okay. So in this part, how can we manage to actually hold a team together if you have no soft skills, or you have no what you call this universal law, right? Universal law like love, or like what you call this integrity. Integrity, universal language lah. Okay, integrity. So this one also comes up to cash, KASH, right?
KASH.
Yeah. K for knowledge, A for attitude,
Yeah.
S for skills, and H for habits.
Habit.
Right? So a lot of people, they argue whether attitude is very important or habit is very
That's
important.
right.
Some also even argue that knowledge is actually more important than skills, right? So on your opinion here,
Okay.
yeah.
My opinion, because I coming from the NLP and then the hypnosis background, so for me, I will very concentrate on something that which is appear in the unconscious level. So something appear in the unconscious level, we tendency for us, we don't see a thing like behaviorals. So from these four, KASH, K is knowledge, is actually is a behavior, and then S is a skill, so that is also a behavior, and then H is a habit, which is also the behavior. Then it's only the attitude which is in the unconscious level. Therefore, let's say I'm trained in this field, right? I will focus and I will choose A as the most important, because that is the inside our unconscious level, whereby that is a prime mover to push us to go in front, and then having the learning, and then having the skill, and having the habit. Without the foundations of the attitude, right, a person will never take up and then going to do something in their life. So this is my point of view. So I don't know whether your point of view is the same with me, or you will choose any other.
If you were to determine from KASH,
Yeah,
I would check on the H.
you will check.
I would check on
Okay.
the H.
Yeah.
Because we look at the personality,
Yeah.
right? As I said just now, in every organization, the leadership or the attitude tends to be very linear, right? Everything is about competition and stuff like that. The only thing that can differentiate is actually personality.
Yeah.
Right? Personality can create an enormous improvement, right? Which creates the habits, right? What do you think?
Something inside create, therefore the habit is actually outside, therefore the important is actually inside, because without something inside, right, the habit will not form. For example, I like to do gyms and I like to do sports, and then that become a value system in me. So that it become a belief system in me, because I believe by continuous doing my exercise, then my body will be healthy, and then my mind will be good. Then whatever things that I do, that will bring me a lot of benefit. So this is my belief systems. Therefore, I go to do that. When I do that, I don't need to have another person call me up. Hey, Ting, now is the time for jogging. Now is the time to gym, or now is the time to do badminton. I don't need that. The time comes, then I will bring my thing and then I'm going to do it. Therefore, this is something that is very different. And then without this understanding, I cannot produce my habit. Yeah, I cannot produce my habit. Therefore, if the habit form, of course, they need pushing. They need people. Then we always say a habit must form in 21 days. Then we have heard about this. Yeah, that's what I'm not worried about the behavioral, but I'm more worried about the inside, the attitude, and then everything that is unconscious level.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So here also let's talk about the enlarging strength and also overcoming the weakness, right?
Oh, okay.
All right. So you see, just now you have been well informed. Okay, I'm sure some of the audience also a bit confused there. Too deep, right? So they need time to digest. So
Okay.
let's say we talk about the enlarging strength, between strength and weakness, right? Strength and weakness. Some people they choose to enlarging their strength. Some people they choose to overcome their weakness, right?
That's true.
So if let's use my example. Previously I will use the method of enlarging my strength, right?
Okay.
Because there's no point eliminating your weakness,
Okay.
right? You want to achieve your goals,
Okay.
but I figure that this recent time, right, I need to overcome my weakness.
That's true.
Yeah, I will need to overcome it, because if it's not between life and death, nobody will want to overcome the weakness. because it's like the away from the pain, we are saying is the
Yeah,
pain
definitely.
factor that we want
Yeah.
to take out, right? So the pull factor here, the overcoming the weaknesses, is actually not easy, I would say. But actually, if let's say we can overcome this hurdle, and all the what we call this, the path is actually very clear, right? So for your case, would you suggest people to overcome their weakness or enlarging their strength?
All right. So this is a very important questions, and this is some very important insight into our daily goal and then daily activities. Because if I want to strengthen my ability, then definitely I can do better in my career, in my relationships, in any aspect of life. And then if I want to avoid my weaknesses, actually that is something that is very, very important as well.
Yeah.
To me as a hypnotherapist and then as a NLP practitioner, I will normally discover from my client which one is actually more dominant in them. Which one is more dominant in them? So to achieve something in life, right? That in us, in our language, we say is a towards goal. Towards a goal.
So let's say, for example, my case, when you see me first impression, right, you think it's better to enlarging the strength or overcoming the weaknesses?
Oh, okay. First impression, I don't judge on that because I need to talk to a person's detailed history in life.
Okay.
Then only I can judge.
Okay.
Then normally people, these two will assist at the same time. It's just by a very different percentage. For example, let's say I want to earn 5 million this year. This is my goal. I normally, whatever I do, I am towards this 5 million business turnover. I will towards this. But then let's say inside me, I have a lot of negative emotions, which is a negative experience from my past, whereby I actually not doing well enough. Yeah, not doing well enough, but it become a stumbling block to me for me to work towards. Therefore, I need to settle this stumbling block. Yeah.
Can I say,
Yeah.
in order to achieve your happiness, you need to overcome your weakness?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is it true that if you don't overcome your weakness, you will have the same circle over and over again, repeating on your life, and then people keep blaming, why is it like that? Why am I like this? Why is life unfair?
Yes,
Right,
sure.
right?
Like let's say I take your industry as an insurance, right? I will take the example as MDRT.
Yeah, we'll fight MDRT
This year, very good. All my blessing go with you.
Definitely will achieve.
Sure. Like, see, in the industry, right? Some people they do MDRT year in year out, so they become a 10 years qualification, 15 years or 20 years, right? So this is a very few cases. Yeah, very few cases people in the industry they can do MDRT throughout the years. A lot of people they will do one time, then they stop few years, and then do another time, and then stop few years, or sometimes only once in the lifetime they did, and then they cannot achieve that anymore.
Yes.
Then what is the purpose? What is the reason behind all this? In people like you and then your partners in insurance, definitely people they all know about MDRT, and then they want to fight MDRT because they know that is very prestige. That membership is actually very prestige, and then it's about cream of the cake, right? Is on top. Yeah. Then people can do only one time or two times. Then why they cannot continuous do? Because they inside them they haven't settled their belief system, value system, and then their past experiences. All this is actually become their stumbling block. Like for example, they may think that they did the MDRT is out of the luck. If they think by luck, yes, out of the luck, by luck they did that.
Yeah.
But if they believe that is the reason they did MDRT, because they by chance they close a very big case and then they achieve MDRT by chance, if they believe that is by chance, then the person is very difficult to continuously achieve.
So you mean it's only it pure because luck. I remember. I know
Yeah.
that there are two types of luck.
Uh-huh.
One is blind luck where you buy lottery. You know.
That's right.
I hope to achieve.
That's true.
So that's blind luck lor. So that's why when you say that become MDRT cannot putus one. So certain people putus one. So the other is the luck on the other hand is called preparedness plus opportunity.
Yeah.
So this type of luck is actually normally long lasting, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we are prepared for whatever
That's right.
shortcomings that are coming. But a lot of people they like to point the fingers at others because you know it's very easy to point at you.
Yeah.
And without realizing that four fingers is actually pointing at ourselves, right? So in our daily, we need to realize that how actually our body language actually influence our opposite party, right? To actually have a judgment on us, right? It's not that we cannot do sales, just that we have mental block, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. For example, hey, this rate, wow. You see, my eyes rolling, right? I said, very nice. Then I do like that. Do you think I will get the sales?
No, definitely.
No, but I will say, hey, why don't you buy from me? And then what's your response?
Then I will say maybe I will buy from you. Then just wait lah. So you give me the quotation lah, or I will just keep it. Then this is very diplomatic.
If I say hey, why don't you buy from me? Hello.
Yeah, then I will just push it away lah. So very diplomatic. I don't reject you at the right to the point. Then I will just be very diplomatic, and then I will deter you. Then after a while, then you will be understand that I'm not interested.
Okay, since there's only, during the first 6 months of the year, there are a lot of turbulence going on because of MCO and stuff, and people are getting depressed, people are losing work, you know. But of course, congratulations to certain people, essential needs, where you actually find a lot of profit from it. So let's talk about the leap of faith for the second half of the year, right? Leap of faith, right? How would you advise people to actually achieve their goals within a short period of 6 months?
Okay, to achieve in a very short time, the very first thing, we need to see our own value. Then the second thing is actually we need to see the value of our product that we are pushing in the market. Then for example, I believe in your industry, right? As per just now you have said, some agents approach a prospect client, and then they do a lot of presentations, they do a lot of groundwork, the rapport building, and then they go to makan together, rapport,
Yes.
and then at the end that particular customer don't buy from that agent and then buy from agent B, agent A and agent B, then they go and buy from agent B.
Okay.
This is, I think, quite common in the industry.
Yeah.
Then the person is actually still buy insurance, yeah. So that means that client actually they have the value in insurance, but they don't buy from agent A. Why? But they buy from agent B. Why? Because the thing is, when the agents come to the prospect client, that prospect client doesn't see the value in terms of servicing that insurance in agent A, but they see that in the agent B.
Yeah.
Therefore, the value of the agent is not appeared in the customer, and then the agent B present the value. Therefore, we need to think what is our value to our client. Then this client, then they will buy from us, then they will not buy from another person.
Yeah. Actually, in this industry, it's quite fair.
Yeah.
Right? I would say fair and equal. But let's say, for example, certain type of people, let's say we take the example of buying from this and not buying from that because of the value system that the current party actually can accommodate. But a lot of people they're actually inferior. They are feeling inferior among themselves, and they just keep wanting, it's your fault.
Okay.
No, it's your fault.
Yeah.
It's your fault, right? So it's like, do you think we should reply to that? It's not right, because one, if let's say those person that can actually point fingers, we don't need to leave them any good explanation, right? But for a certain work environment, right?
Yeah.
This tend to happen.
Definitely.
This tend to happen, right?
It happens all the time in different aspects of life.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Even in a household also.
That's true.
One may be not good at explanation, the other may not good at what you call this, they just don't want to talk about it because you know, when you eliminate your confusion, your goals are easily achieved. Okay, so a lot of people are actually you know, there are a lot of office politics and stuff like that. So I'm sure that a lot of entrepreneurs out there, when you are doing work, you will tend to have a lot of people asking you to give up, you know, don't achieve this, don't achieve that. Let me advise you that if, let's say, what you do have 1,000 people commented that what you did was wrong, please continue doing it because it's definitely right. Say for example, do you smoke?
No.
Okay, say for example you smoke. Today you smoke.
Okay.
Today you smoke. Then after that, tomorrow you come. I say, where's your smoke? Where's your cigarette? They say, I quit already. I will reply, why are you quitting? Oh my God, why are you quitting? So the third day you say, I quit. Then I say, are you sure or not? Can your lungs take it or not? Can you focus? All this. So even in good things, when we want to do something good, right? A lot of people will give comments, right? You know? Say for example, today you smoke, tomorrow you come and smoke. I will say, yeah lah, normal one, he smoke. Never mind lah, he die lah, right? A lot of people will comment on something that is bad, right? So if let's say we are doing something good, it's not necessary for you to explain to everybody, right? Because your goals, only you know, you're the best indicator. If you want to quit smoking, do it quietly, or else everybody will bring you down. It's a matter of
people may jealous of your achievement, the potential achievement. That's why this type of people, they are not a person that you can actually spend time with.
Okay, how would you like to advise to all the entrepreneurs out there that may encounter this problem?
Actually, and doing business, right, is actually, I would say, it's very lonely. In a way, when we do business and then we make a lot of money, people will get jealous, and then they hope that you down. And then, if you do it not good, then people will laugh. They will treat you as a laughing stock.
Laughing stock.
Yeah, the laughing stock. Therefore, that's why I say doing business sometimes only entrepreneur himself or herself, they know how tough the business is actually doing. And then therefore, what we do is actually cling on now. We actually cling on and then we just stick to the value system. Ask us our own self why I started this. There will be a core value in us which we want to do this business. So if let's say today I say I give up, so I do not want this core value anymore, then you change. But if you say, I still want to continue with this, then of course you still carry on. And then all these things, right, we can see from the past. A lot of people, they actually go through the hardships, then only they become somebody into the world, and then to do some very great thing for the world. Therefore, we need to hang on and then check in our own self whether our value system still allow us to comply. Otherwise, it's time for you or for anyone to change their career.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walt Disney, Mark
That's true.
Zuckerberg, all the
Yeah, that's right.
successes won't happen overnight.
That's true.
And of course they have to value the whole management team in order to grow. That's why the foundation is very important, right? So on the next 6 months, right? Pull and push factor is like one is away from praying, the other one is towards happiness, right? Towards happiness actually cannot last long, right?
Towards happiness actually lasts long.
Last long, okay.
Yeah.
Towards happiness is
Towards
actually push or pull factor.
It's a pull factor.
Or pull factor.
Push factor is away from. For example, how we think about the away from factors, right? Let's say for example, we are sitting here. Let's say for example, on the ceiling there is a cobra drop, and then it's actually sitting in between us. What normally we are going to do? Jump, right? Jump, right? We no matter how much energy that we have, we jump, right? So this is actually the push factor. Very strong push, because we know cobra is very poisonous, venomous,
Yeah.
and then if one bite we can die. Then we actually want to jump away. Then in terms of life, right, the push factor is very important for us to kickstart. Therefore, after the MCO, right, we all become a little bit sluggish, macam lazy sikit, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we need to push. Then we need the push, right? We cannot use pull factor, because when we using pull factor, right, that momentum is not that explosive is not good. But then when we using the away from goal, which is away from pain, right, that particular explosive is very strong. But we don't use that factor all the time. After we being explosive, right, then we need to come with the momentum. It's exactly like how they launch the rockets. They launch the rocket. They need to have explosive. They push it, pam, the rocket goes up, and then when the rocket go into their orbit, right, it become a momentum for the rocket to go.
Yeah.
So these two must combine together.
Okay. Oh, sorry. So you are saying that push factor is actually away from pain, and also pull factor is actually towards happiness. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, terbalik tu.
Terbalik the two.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay.
It's good.
So towards happiness, let's say for example, in the next 6 months, for those who want to achieve that, maybe you may feel that your business is going downturn, you may be facing unemployment. Don't worry. Just now, as we have talked about, we must move towards happiness. Say for example, my case here, I would imagine myself on the stage taking MDRT and GSM
That's right.
trophy,
Yeah.
right? Bringing all my agents to travel. So this
That's
is my pull factor.
So I can become your agent. You bring me along.
Can.
Can I? It's recorded or not?
Okay. So because of after MCO, right? It's very it's recorded.
It's recorded. Huh? Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you cannot deny.
Huh?
You cannot deny.
I can that value system is very
Integrity.
important. Integrity,
That's right.
yeah, universal law, right?
Yeah.
But of course you must follow the rules. Okay, of any management or any team that applies, right? Without the rules, or somebody just want to screw up the whole integration part, I don't think it will come up to the right foundation and a strong foundation to go higher,
Mhm.
right? It definitely, if anyone that wants to fly or jump, the whole foundation will shake.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
The whole foundation will shake. So for those who want to kickstart their business, it's good to have a push factor,
That's right.
right? To create the inertia for you to move forward.
That's
But you
right.
still need to have the end goal, because with the end goal only we know how strong it is that we want to achieve it, right?
Yeah.
Because if without that, your whole cycle of unhappiness, it will still follow.
Mhm.
Because we cannot overcome the obstacle, right? And the obstacle keep on repeating and repeating. Say for example, a lot of people, year end, they say, oh hey, next year I try again.
Yeah.
Next year I try again. So beginning of the year they say, this year I must try.
This one, yeah.
Oh, I must try.
Try.
Then after that, mid-year, let's wait and see. I think I cannot achieve. So this cycle has been repeating over and over for so many years. Why? Simple as we let our weakness overcome our happiness.
Actually, try is a very interesting word. In terms of hypnosis, right? If we want a person don't do something, we always say try. Try to do MDRT. I try. I try very best. I try to close that deal. So actually, try means I don't. Actually, a words come out from our mouth is actually giving a lot of excuses and reason for me not to do.
Yeah.
Therefore, I say try, because I want to pretend to show to you I have been working very hard.
It's a push factor lah. You don't see the end result. You are just saying for the sake of, let's go about it. So a lot of people actually have this kind of, let's say girlfriend boyfriend relationship, right?
Yeah.
The girl today want to, let's say today, how old are you? Let's say you are 20 lah.
Okay,
One 20 years old girl
no
want
lah,
to
25
tackle,
lah, this year 25.
Okay, one girl want to tackle you.
Okay.
So this girl will have push or pull factor towards you. Let's say you are super rich, you are driving a Lamborghini. I saw a Lamborghini parked downstairs. I don't know whether it's yours.
Maybe.
So a girl, let's say I'm just a school graduate, right? You are driving a Lambo to school. I will have a push factor or pull factor, you see. My goal is towards you need to see through my eyes so that I can hypnotize you using my email.
In terms of definitely in terms of NLP, then when we want to kickstart something, right, it's always come with the push factor, because that create explosive.
Correct.
So that means that even though in relationships, then if we want to create attentions, we want to create an attentions to the other party, right? Normally we need to create something. It's a wow factor. We call it the wow factor. When the wow factor coming in, right, that person actually attract to that attention.
Yeah.
For example,
First impression.
Yes. The impression, the first one is actually very important. Like for example, if I drive the Lamborghini to the school, right? Actually, my Lamborghini is a wow factor. It's a wow factor. Then definitely I will attract some people that they like this type of car. Then it become a wow factor. Then of course the second step is a pull factor, because whether I can be in the relationship for a long time, then it become a pull factor. Explosive, then after that is pull.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So are you saying that from your conscious mind, your goal is to attract numerous number of people towards you, right? When you are single focused towards the particular person, let's say be it your business partner or your partner for life, you tend to eliminate all the external factors that may coming in, might disturb or distract your original thoughts, right? So this actually goes to the subconscious mind, correct? So when this goes to the subconscious mind, we will not know that we are doing this, right? Say today you learn how to drive a car. In order to drive a car, we need to remember 20 steps at one time, right? That's why we need to undergo a training, right? That was beginning from conscious mind, and it actually fall back to the subconscious mind, right? Now that we are driving a car, do you actually remember all the things that you drive? No, because one, you can horn there, you can see the language over there, language over there, and picking up the phone. So this falls under the subconscious mind, right?
Yeah.
But how can the subconscious mind actually distribute an aura to people that actually people feel, wow, this guy is actually, or this girl is actually really very great? How do we actually train our subconscious mind to actually do that?
Okay, if all the behavior is actually very unconscious. All the behavior is actually very unconscious. Yes. Because our behavior is actually something that actually we can see, is visible from another person, and whatever coming out from our behavioral, that particular thing is actually inside us, is the value systems. So for example, for a person to have the aura, to have it attractive, right, then that person must have the kind of value system in them, because that is the like for example, we say Naomi Campbell is the world famous supermodel. That ladies, when she come out and she walk, right, it's something that is very elegant.
She has the aura all
that's true.
Yeah.
She's become very, very elegant, and then instantly she attract a lot of attention. Why that person can be like that? Because of course she is being trained to be do the catwalks, and she has been trained to present herself well.
Correct.
Then all this learning, right, is consciously learned, and then it becomes part of their unconscious. Therefore, for a person to want to do well in their industry, right, whether they are doing insurance or become anything, First, of course, is a
Housewife.
training. Yeah, housewife as well.
It's also a training. It's a very complicated career.
That's true. Very complicated career, and then housewife in Japan actually is a very high pay because the husband money all go to the wife.
But we have to bear with all the package.
Yeah. Then the person need to be trained and then to be like immersed into whatever they do.
Yes.
So that then the whatever things that they do, it become unconscious expressions of their ability.
Yeah. Do you also say that all our leaders out there, when we see through their TV, they are actually emitting one kind of aura that we actually know that they are great. So this also can be trained, or they already know what they wanted. So that's why under the Johari window, they can actually emit those energy out for the people to actually to intensely feel them. Can this be controlled, or if let's say I want to make you feel me that I'm actually adventurous, right? So that's why I will go diving and stuff, for example.
Yeah.
I'll play sports. So this brings the first impression that I'm adventurous,
That's
right?
true.
Because I want to bring it out.
That's right. That's right.
But can this thing be reversed? Let's say if I don't want you to see certain type of characteristic, then you won't be able to see it.
Oh, of course. Then Johari window, we have 4 windows. Yeah, something that we know. We know ourselves, and then our people around us also know. So this is a no, two no.
Public.
Yeah, public. Two no. And then the other one is I know myself. Then I want to hide.
Private.
So it become a private. It become a secret. I do not want you to know.
Correct.
So there is only one no.
Correct.
That no is on my side.
Yes.
And then the other one is also one no, which I don't know. And
your
you
friends
know. Yes, the third party know. Then there was also one no. That particular thing is actually I am actually
Blind
don't
side.
know. Yes, that is my blind side. That's true. Then I don't know about it. And then the final one will be both of us don't know. So there is a no exists here. So I don't know, you don't know. And then that is the where is actually we call it the void.
Okay. Okay. So let's say based on private, public, and also blind side.
Yeah.
Of course, the unknown to others and unknown to us, we just keep it aside.
Yeah.
These 3 categories, which will you suggest that if we can actually focus on, so that we can actually produce the best of ourselves?
All right. All these things, right? Is zooming down into how we want to progress. Like for example, I know, and you know, it's a way which is actually I know what is my strength, and then you also know. Yeah.
Subconscious or conscious?
This one, of course, by knowing it is actually conscious. By knowing it is actually conscious because conscious mind, in terms of NLP standpoint, is actually something that you can analyze, something that you can do the calculations, and then where is critical thinking is there. So the critical thinking is actually I look at your behavior, then I do analysis, and then I come up with a conclusion. All this is actually forming the conscious mind. And then when we talk about this, I know you know, then it's actually I know myself. Where is my strong point and then where is my weak point? And then from your side, actually you can see me where I don't know, then actually is where you can influence me or you can manipulate me. I may have a strong point which I don't know, or I may have a weakness which I don't know.
I see.
Then you know, it's actually if let's say you are a good leader, then you will influence me and tell me this is actually your strong point, but you never been aware. You see that you have done this, and then you can produce a lot of good result.
Let's stop at that side. Say for example, I can acknowledge this value, but resisting to change also may make you fall into another pit.
Resisting to change usually is in the weaknesses. Because if I know I have a strong point, and then you pinpoint it out to me, then since that is my strong point, I will say thank you because I know myself better.
Okay.
That is somewhere I am very comfortable with.
Yeah.
But it's only the weaknesses I have the resistance.
But let's talk about when you are talking about this. So why resistance to change coming? Everyone has different childhood trauma. Right? Everyone has very different childhood trauma. Where let's say my background is ABC, your background is CDE, right? When certain things that are known blind side, I would say blind side, which is known to your friends and unknown to self, right? Some people may use it to manipulate, like you say.
Yeah.
A good leader may use it to influence people.
Influence.
Yeah, influence us to actually produce better. But in order to actually keep up with the momentum, we also need to come up with a package that whether or not we have childhood trauma. All right.
That's true.
Yeah, childhood trauma, which also means that we need to be honest with ourselves, right? In overcoming the weaknesses, right? If it's not a matter of life and death, I don't think a lot of people can overcome their weakness because it's so pain, hide under our
It's actually hide deep inside us, which is I used to call is the darkest, is the dirtiest place. Because that is the place whereby we do not want to touch it. Because once we touch it, it becomes very painful.
Yes.
And then that is where we want to hide it the deepest, whereby that is the darkest place.
But not many people want to actually explore that part.
That's true. But then in terms of NLP and hypnosis, and then also another technique we call the timeline therapy, we actually can help the people to overcome it by not knowing, by not knowing the content. Let's say, for example, I have a client A. That person having a very deep trauma in the childhood, and then the client will never tell anybody about that. But then when that person come to us, we will be able to help the person to overcome the childhood trauma without knowing the content. But what we pay attention is the negative emotion that appear, and then the limiting belief that appear. Then from there, we actually helping them to overcome.
If I ask you to become a murderer,
then
can you become a murderer in 1 week?
Theoretically, of course, this is a very extreme and negative example, but theoretically it's possible because once we change the value system of a person, we can change the person either into good or into bad. And then if we look into the history, and then we will see a lot of people become double agents.
Yeah, definitely bipolar systems also.
Yeah. The double agent. Then why the person can become a double agent? Because under the situation, that person changed the identity. Then they can be the good, they become the agents to the country, and then they will become the enemy to the country as well, because we call it double agent. Yeah.
Okay. Since there are 32 personalities that one can have, can anyone actually produce 10,000 or 1 million if they wanted to? Say for example, today my mentor is Jack Ma or Mark Zuckerberg. I only achieve his 1%.
All right.
It's achievable right now. So let's say if my mentor is Cikgu Ali in sekolah menengah Ali. Can I achieve his 1% income? Can, right? Because it's also a theory of relativity, right?
That's right.
So the limiting belief, that's what we mentioned earlier, is also very important.
That's
how
right.
we compare ourselves to.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important to compare ourselves to anyone, or is it better to actually extract what are our strengths and also just focus on that?
Okay.
To achieve the best of all.
Now, I think the audience may not know about the limiting belief. The limiting belief, just now I have talked about this previously. We call it empowering belief, and then the other one we call it the limiting belief.
Yes.
So empowering belief is actually empower you, give you the authority to do whatever you want.
Correct.
So that your life will be more fruitful. And then limiting belief actually in the contrary is doing the opposite. Then when we say doing the opposite, right, it actually by the words of limit you. That's why we call it the limiting belief. This is a belief system that we form throughout our life cycle, and especially when we was young. When we was young, then the parents, teacher, or any people around us, they say, oh, you don't do this, you don't do that, you do this, you will have very bad consequences. And then if we adopt that, then it becomes something limiting belief in our life. Then in order for us to achieve something greater in the life, these are the something that in us we want to remove it. By removing all the limiting belief, right, it's just like a person, it carry a lot of burden on the shoulder, but now I lifted it, and then the person is actually very light, then they can do. Like for example, now we have only about 6 months to do whatever we want to do.
Yes. to end the year of
Yeah.
2020.
Yes,
Memorable year.
that's true. Then in the past, right, we never did that. Let's say we never did anything great in terms of 6 months. We need 12 months to do something. But now we have only 6 months. Then our limiting belief say, I will never achieve something in the short time, 6 months. That is a limiting belief because it limits me to do anything great within the 6 months.
Right.
So we need to remove that belief. That new belief that coming in, which is the empowering belief, they will tell us, if I have only 1 month, I can do great. If I have only 1 day, I can do great. Then therefore the person can do something great within the very short time.
You mean in order to get the island, you need to burn the boat?
That's right. Yeah.
Or you need to put some lions behind.
Okay.
So, okay, so I think our topics basically cover all on how to actually transform yourself. There is no success delusion,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people are having all this success delusion, which also means that why are we resisting to change, right? So here also I would like to advise to all my friends out there, if you were to achieve for something, if it is good or it is great, a lot of people will comment you. When they condemn you, please make that as your motivation to go further. Because you see, Walt Disney, Mark Zuckerberg, Oliver and Wilbur Wright, they all failed how many 100 times, and they did not tell anyone their achievement until their final results, right? So life is of such, if you have a lot of hurdles to overcome, you may only thank God for making you a better person, right?
Yeah.
Impossible, God gave us such a good mind. We need to die like this, at peace. Nothing great about that, right? So in order to create world peace, we need to really apply our brain and our mind properly to help the world, right? Do you have anything to say to the audience?
I think if possible, then keep on learning about the NLP and hypnosis. And then because this tool is actually the applied psychology, so it means that you can do it without going through the formal education in the universities. But then coming to learn, then you will be able to apply it and then use it in a very wise way, which we say the influencing. Yeah, influence people, then you create a win-win situations, then help your client to achieve what they want, and then you will achieve what you want.